everybody. All right, so this is just another video in the playlist that we wanted to add in here. Hopefully it'll help some of the current patients out who are already, experimenting with different medical marijuana products from some of the Florida dispensaries here. I wanted to go over the difference between how the prescriptions are written and also milligrams versus ratios. So some products do terpene profile. All that is plant genetics. It's just taking multiple plants, extracting them, and then making a product out of them that's going to make a desired result or effect, instead of, say, growing a plant just for that one strain. You can grow a plant, the strain name's Girl Scout cookies, and the harvest is typically kind of has this median range of where the amount of THC and CBD is going to be. And so that product will always sort of be the same because it's from the same plant and, it's stable that way. So I've got a couple of pens here. One is a Zen pen, another one is a Serene pen. Basically they're opposite, pretty much. Pretty much opposites. Zen's a 1-4 and a Serene is a 5-1. Now what does this mean? Well, they always put the CBD number before the THC number.
Right, super important.
Yeah, so Serene is going to be very low on the psychoactivity scale. Right? 5-1, so that's basically 6 total parts that make up, the 250 milligram cartridge here. Mm-hmm. And 5 of those parts are CBD.
Which is no psychoactivity.
Right. One of those parts is THC, which is psychoactive.
So a majority of people who use that have no psychoactive effects whatsoever. But there are people who are extremely sensitive to THC, and they might actually feel the THC in that.
Yeah.
But by far the average doesn't.
Minor anxiety would like something like this. Anxiety, maybe some sleep issues. Maybe like IBS would probably find this beneficial. Someone who has to go to work and function and, do things throughout their day where they can't include a highly psychoactive marijuana product in their day-to-day lives.
Right.
So this is it's an all-around good product. This one's the opposite. This one is a 1-4. So this is 1 part CBD, which is the non-psychoactive, 4 parts psychoactive. So it's 80% psychoactive, 20% non-psychoactive. So this one's going to be the polar opposite to this one. This one's going to be highly psychoactive, very potent. You're going to feel the high or the stoned effect from this one, whereas this one you're not going to feel it much. So those are how ratios work. It's just a different umbrella, for products. We'll do a strain.
Okay.
A strain next. So next we have a strain here.
A majority of dispensaries do it strain based. So they have the wacky names, some of them have to adjust them a little bit because of copywriting, but all of them are going to be slightly odd names. Like this one is Blackjack, and then there's like Granddaddy Purple, and there's a whole bunch of different strains. But when they do it strain based, usually it's going to give you the percentage of THC, and if it's a THC strong vape, then they're going to give you just the tiniest amount of CBD in there usually. Yeah,
it's usually, that's something they can't control in the harvest. It's how much CBD or THC is kind of naturally produced, when they're following the growing guidelines for these strains, whether or not the person growing it came up with it, or is using a clone, or is using a seed from another grower's strain that they developed themselves. This one, for example, if you were to buy this from the dispensary, and this is available here in Florida dispensaries, I'll list all the links for all this stuff below, but anyway, we're not paid sponsors. We're not endorsed by any of these companies. This is what I had on hand, and it was good enough to be able to make the video with. So that's really all that came down to it.
That's it.
It's just for education. So this one on the box here, like if you went into the dispensary, you pick up a little box. Inside that box is a vaporizer cartridge. This vaporizer cartridge is 600 milligrams. Out of that 600 milligrams, 76.9% of this is THC. 0.4% of this is CBD. Funny thing also about strains is that this one's Blackjack, but say it's a different one. Say it's AK-47, right? Really popular hybrid. Say it's Blue Dream, another popular hybrid. they could have the same amount of THC, but if it's a different strain, it's going to affect you differently. It's going to feel differently. So it's not a one size fits all. You know, if you have a 76.9% pen, but it's Remedy or Charlotte's Web, those are CBD varieties, which are going to produce no psychoactivity, but they're high in CBD content, and the effects are going to be concurrent with CBD. Right. So just to keep in mind, this kind of shows the potency, but really what matters is the percentage and what strain it is. So try different strains. Don't be so focused on the percentages, but try different strains, because you can always resort to leafly.com. I'll put that also, a link down below. And that's a really great way to check out, if you have, say, ulcerative colitis or multiple sclerosis, you can go to leafly.com and search, and you'll see peer reviews from, medical marijuana patients from all over the world, and they'll say, these are the couple of strains that have helped me the most with my UC or my MS or my, arthritis, whatever the condition is, and then you have kind of a starting place.
Did want to say too, we have patients all the time that come in the office, and whether it's a little older lady or a great big burly guy, that you kind of put people in your head of they're going to need this much or that much, because in traditional medicine, weight was a factor sometimes, sex was a factor, that kind of thing. With this, we see these little old ladies that have never touched THC who take way more THC than we would have ever guessed, and these great big guys that can barely touch it and have the effect they need. So, don't be afraid of the percentages, because if there weren't that many different people out there with different variations, the dispensaries wouldn't have the need to have all these different products. So definitely not a one size fits all.
Next up, we're going to do a video on the certification definitions, prescriptions, and also how to renew with the state each year.
Right.
See you later.